All right, Coach, we are pleased as always to be bringing you coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. A moment ago, here was the scene, the Falcons coming out from their tunnel to the roar of all the folks here in Atlanta. We're ready for football as these Falcons get set to match up with the Detroit Lions. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. On first down, it's Stafford. And he'll be wrapped up around the waist and pushed down.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. Stafford. That'll be taken in there by Kenny Galladay. And he's able to get up here to the 26. They get 14 back, but it leads now to a 3rd down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where the primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
They'll run for the first time with Johnson. They'll get about 4 as he's past the 35 to the 38-yard line.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down, a very solid gain on that play.
Here's Stafford now on 2nd down. It's complete to Golden Tate. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. Give him 30 yards there.
And let's face it, that what we just saw there, not a surprise, is it? I mean, this is what he does well. And if you don't tackle him as soon as he catches the ball, this is the end result. Big yardage after it.
He's got the speed, the agility, so good with run after catch. And we're only in the first quarter, so they better get a wrangle and a hold on that quickly.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And what's really difficult to try and defend him is if you want to press him so that you get him on the ground quickly after the catch, a lot of times he'll just run past you at the initial point of contact, and he'll go deep.
To throw on 2nd down to Stafford. Over the middle, complete to Tate. And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. A good pickup there of 20 yards. The Lions into the red zone for the first time. This is 1st and goal from about the 8. They'll try and run. This is Johnson. Trying to get out wide, but he's going to be tackled right near the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up 2nd and goal.
All right, quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers playing with their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are turning on that other sideline. As a play caller, you're filing that. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. As his guys are in for 6. And the Lions take it right down and score on the opening drive. Well, that's how they envisioned it. Get the football to start the game and score it.
And I don't know if that was scripted. Was it an audible? Or was it just a play call that they had in their pocket? No matter what, they had the right call on against the right defense, and they end up in the end zone.
Martin, the punter, now out to kick it away. Ryan and the Falcons now come up 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Here's Ryan to throw. And finding the tight end Hooper. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And it'll be 2nd and 12. Now it's Ryan. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Quandre Diggs. And he will be brought down, but he's got the interception on the final play of this first quarter. Detroit coming back out here on offense, and this is a team who had the bye in Week 6, Week 7 last week, Charles. Nice win against Miami, 32-21, in what is becoming a very muddled NFC North.
Yeah, and a win on the road as well. Matthew Stafford playing much better since Week 1, 4-interception performance. Hadn't thrown a pick since Week 3 against New England, a win. Think about some of their wins. They beat New England, they beat Green Bay, just won at Miami. But how about the division? They're right in there. The Vikings setting the pace at 4-2-1. Green Bay's 3-2-1. Chicago and Detroit both 3-3. You can go from first to last and from last to first on a given weekend.
And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 68 yards receiving now for him in the game. Had a first down on that last catch as well. Clock running, under 4 to play now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now a handoff, Johnson, and they go the wrong way here. Knocked back to the 20. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
On 2nd down, here's Stafford. And incomplete on the deep ball.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
Throwing on 3rd down, Stafford. And he locates Luke Wilson. And he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown. Luke Wilson, a 20-yard touchdown. And the Lions add on to their lead. Extra point good by Prater. And that'll make the score 14-0. Martin, the punter, now out to kick it away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Here are the Falcons as their offense heads back onto the field. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. Well, CD taking a peek at some of the injuries from around the league in Week 7. We did have a few. Quan Alexander on that Bucs defense went down with an injury. They'll be monitoring Sony Michel in New England. Now, remember, they already lost Jeremy Hill, Rex Burkhead out of that backfield, so a couple injuries to note.
Certainly, and Quan Alexander in the middle of the Tampa Bay defense, which was already struggling. They may not get him back the rest of the season. Sony Michel, they're hoping to get him back after a few weeks. Albert Wilson in Miami has made big plays all season long, has a hip injury. That could cost him some serious time, if not the season. LaShawn McCoy.
Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. And he finally goes down at the 23-yard line. A big play on 3rd down for the Falcons. 52 yards. So barely time to catch our breath. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the red zone. On 1st down, Ryan. His throw caught at about the 5. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards. 2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. 2 minutes remain here in the first half. We're back to Atlanta right after this timeout. A first chance in the red zone for the Falcons now. They've got a 1st and goal and this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Glover Quinn. Well, we got a second here. Let's take a peek around the league. What's coming up week 8? A couple big games as we near the halfway point of the season, Charles. I'm mainly looking at Philly and Jacksonville and London, and then New Orleans and Minnesota. That should be interesting.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Philly and Jacksonville, both teams struggling right now. The Eagles have already lost 4 games. They lost 3 all of last season. Both of those teams need a win in a big way. New Orleans at Minnesota, the Saints are on a heck of a roll right now. They've won 5 in a row. But the Vikings quietly have won 3 straight and seem to be getting their footing on defense again. And how about Green Bay? They had the week off this past week. Big win over San Francisco at home on a Monday night. They now head out to face the 7-0 Rams in Los Angeles. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that one. That is a big one indeed.
Aaron Rodgers, Todd Gurley. Let's do this.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
Oh, I like that right there. Not only was it the right play, throwing it away like that, frankly, I think it was the only play.
Yeah, got outside of the pocket, realized he had nothing, just chucked it free.
Yeah, live to fight another down, right?
And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. And here now come the Falcons. And it's been a miserable start for them offensively, obviously. 2 drives, 2 interceptions.
And this is where you have to know your quarterback and know how you actually have to reach him. Do you do it with a little bit of humor? Maybe you break the ice a little bit like, hey, didn't we practice in that color jersey all week? Not the one that you're throwing it to? Or maybe you have to be stern with him. But whatever it's going to take to get the message, it has to be done. He's putting the game in jeopardy.
Connects with Sanu right side. No gain there on the completion. 2nd and 10.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or 2 miss, but that window closed quickly.
There we go.
Now Ryan on 2nd down. Throwing deep here for Coleman. And he's unable to grab it. Thought he might have had position, couldn't hold on. 3rd down. I know he wants to get his team back in the game, but a 50-50 ball right there that maybe was a little questionable.
Yeah, he's pretty lucky to get that one back. I think that sometimes these quarterbacks play with a lot of confidence that borders on arrogance, and that can put your team in some Dutch.
Yeah, especially maybe want to look at some safer routes after the interception he had that ended their last drive. And now the 3rd down throw incomplete as well. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down. Looks like Ryan's going to stay out there. Indeed, they're going to try for this on 4th down. They'll indeed go for it with Ryan. And this is incomplete. A surprising move to go for it. Predictably, at least somewhat predictably, it doesn't pay off. And the Lions will get the football back.